Jack's on the football pitch, kicking a ball around with some other kids. His ginger hair's not hard to spot amongst the dark heads of his Cypriot friends. He's standing in the far goal, his face bright red. How many times do I have to tell him to wear his hat? He's got his father's pale complexion. He'll burn within seconds in the midday sun. I pick up his hat from the ground by the goalpost and shout across the pitch. Jack! Where's your sister? I ask, as he comes running up, planting the hat firmly on his head and looking around. Grace should be here by now. She's supposed to walk over from the senior school and meet us. Jack snatches up his bottle and gulps down water. I dunno, he says. She must be in the canteen. I try her mobile, but it's out of charge or it's switched off. Unusual for Grace, who normally has to be surgically prized away from her phone. I'm guessing that she's still angry with me over the other day. We barely spoke all weekend. The most I got out of her was a nod or a glare. Maybe she's switched it off deliberately. Christ, I mutter under my breath. Grabbing Jack's sticky hand, we trudge across the car park and the schoolyard. It's not far, but in the midday heat, it's a major expedition, like crossing the Sahara. You have a good day? I ask as we stop, panting like dogs, in the meagre shade of a tree, hiding from the searchlight glare of the sun. Sure, Jack shrugs. Learn anything interesting? I wipe the sweat from the back of my neck. A few strands of hair have come loose and are sticking to my skin. Nope. We have the same conversation pretty much every day. Jack isn't big on communication, much like his father. In that respect, he's very different from Grace. Grace has always been a talker. Since she was little, she always confided every detail of her day. Who was being mean to whom, what the teacher said, what marks she got in her tests. At least, that's how she used to be. In recent months, she's stopped telling me anything at all. The canteen's nearly empty already. There are just a few kids playing table football outside and a couple of teachers sipping frappes. No sign of Grace. But inside I see one of her friends sitting in the corner, fiddling with her phone. Hey, Maria. I smile. How are you? Oh, hi, Joanna, she says in her perfect English, flashing me a metallic smile. She's a sweet girl, with a thick mane of wiry black hair and large, mild brown eyes. The type of girl who does Duke of Edinburgh, plays in the orchestra, and always gets good grades. An A-star student. Grace used to be an A-star student too. Until Tom came into the picture, I think, bitterly. But now? Her GCSE results were mixed at best, and her end-of-year report ambivalent. Grace needs to focus in order to live up to her undoubted potential. Grace seems to lack enthusiasm for this subject. Grace put in minimum effort this term. Is she destined to throw away her future like I did? A daughter cursed to repeat her mother's mistakes? It's infuriating. After all the opportunities we've provided, and all my warnings to her about throwing her life away on a man. Have you seen Grace? I ask Maria. Until recently, Grace and Maria were joined at the hip. But not so much over the past couple of months. Not since Tom arrived on the scene. Maria looks startled. No. I haven't seen her since the beginning of the day. She calls out to a passing boy, lanky and acne-ridden with bushy brown hair. Hey, Andreas, have you seen Grace? He shakes his head and flushes faintly. I dropped her off this morning, I say, feeling a first twinge of concern. I picture Grace as I last saw her, climbing the steps to the main school building, lugging her heavy backpack, her black ponytail swinging. The brief, backwards glance of defiant blue eyes, the determination not to smile or wave. Even her back radiated anger. Well, I'm her mum. She will have to forgive me, sooner or later. She must be here somewhere, I think, and I try her phone again, but it's still off.